Okay, recording is on. So we are here in our fourth onboarding session. Do you have any questions to me, guys? Okay. All of you have your GitHub access, Randstad GitHub access. And the reason why you could not run the apps yet is that you need to have your SVC accounts created. What does it mean to have an SVC account created? If you check the account setup guide, in the account setup guide, we have reference. What you see is what you get. In this one, you need to have an active access key, and this access key will be missing for you. And also, you need to have an active SSH access. And this is being added by the client. Our Scrum Master added tickets to the client system, and we are still waiting for these tickets to be created. How I'm checking whether you have access or no, just so I have shown this to you. If I open Identity and Access Management, I'm currently in the Buex account, Production Administrators. So this is, I have access to actually stop loading instances now. Then if I go to Users, you could see that I have searched for my user, and I do see myself, and I do have a SVC account or service account. This service account, when I open it in the security credentials, you see that I have, in security credentials, I have SSH public keys for code commit. And this is something that you could not add by yourself. This is added by the clients because they have their own administration. But what is this SSH key ID? This is the unique identifier for my SSH key. And now, if I go and search inside my SSH config for this key, you see that I'm using it as a user. How I'm using this as a user? If I show you my SSH config, you will see here that the key ends in 2DX, and this is the key. And I have said, hey, if the host is code commit EU West region, then with this user, use this identity file. And once we receive your user IDs, these ones, I will send them to you, and you will be able to replicate the same configuration at your site. Once you do that, then you won't have issues when you try to run any of the apps. Because if I open any of the applications, let me log into actually GitHub and open Jobs app, because yesterday we started Jobs app with you. In Buex app jobs, if I go to the package JSON, in package JSON, you see that we have different packages which could be downloaded with Yarn, but we also have packages which are like custom ones created by us, and these are hosted in code commit. That's why, for example, you see stuff like lib ATS common, and then the location of the package is git plus SSH, and then we have git code commit EU West region and the name of the repository. And currently, you won't be able to start this, because if you try to run yarn install, it will try to read the repository from download the package from here. But in order for you to download it from here, you need to have your SSH key ID added to Amazon and your configuration up to date. So just before this call, I tried to see that do we have your accounts created. I didn't manage to find you, because I'm currently checking with your names. You see that I don't see them, so they didn't add your accounts yet. At the moment when they add your accounts, I will ping you in a private message and make sure that I help you if you have any issues, and you confirm me that this is working. Sorry, just a second. My voice is not helping me this morning. So what issues you might encounter, even after adding this stuff, the issues that you might have is the following. When you perform yarn install will go and try to fetch it. But yarn install is not interactive. So this means that before running yarn install, you need to run git clone against any of these repositories. And then you will be asked, are you okay to download the code from here? Why this is required? Well, I guess you all know, but I will make sure that I said it. If you check your SSH folder, you do have a file that's named known hosts. And in that known hosts, I could make something like this to show you that I have already made some downloads. And it says, this guy tried to download from code commit, and code commit with this IP is already a known host for me. And this is my public key. So it's because of your operating system, you need to first try to git clone at least once, then confirm that you're okay, and then yarn install it will work. And I'm saying this on purpose because back in the days when I was onboarding people, this was one of the major stuff that happened, and people couldn't install the apps. Okay.
So we need to clone everything, all the Git, all the repos that are with SSH something.
No, only one, because when you perform git clone once, then this code commit endpoint will be added. You see, it's like code commit. So once it's added as a code commit, let me search for it. This is enough. No hosts works with domains, and the domains for all the repositories are like code commit, and it doesn't matter what's the actual repository URL. So you need to run it only once.
Okay, good.
Okay, then with this being cleared out, I'm planning to continue showing you the rest of the apps. So yesterday we managed to actually index some jobs, and then we started the jobs app. Today, I'm planning to show you how MyRandstad app works. So MyRandstad app, just for reference, this is the app which lives here. So when I try to log in, this is what I get. Then if I try to run register account, yeah, I have a form. If I log into my account, I should have actually a working setup. And I don't remember did I have a working one. I think this was working one. And when I try to log in and run, yeah, it's not yet activated, but you remember the locked-in state of it. So what I will do now is first find the MyRandstad application. So I'm searching for MyRandstad. It's like here. So MyRandstad. And okay, it's Buex app, then MyRandstad. This one, Buex app, MyRandstad. And if you search for MyRandstad, you could see that there are actually different instances. One of them is like Talent Foundation MyRandstad. The one that will be running today with you guys is called Buex app MyRandstad. What's the difference between Buex and Talent Foundation? Buex is the RXP Classic MyRandstad. This is the RXP Classic MyRandstad. And this RXP Classic MyRandstad is running on React and Node.js. And this is actually deployed to over 30 different countries across the world. Talent Foundation MyRandstad is new MyRandstad, and this new MyRandstad is currently being developed. It's not live in any country yet. It will go live in October. And this new MyRandstad, this one, it's built using Next.js, and also it's on Next.js, and we don't have any backend services developed by us. The backend services are developed by the client. So that's an extremely big difference between these two. Why I'm telling you this? Because we already have a plan about people, and which teams you join. So I'm free to update you now. From 15th of August, all of you will be joining and working with a team. So that's why we have time until 15th of August, so I could onboard you. And Video will be joining export team. Export team scope is mainly working with Jobs app. So it's everything related to the jobs journey. This includes searching for jobs, etc. Then we have Tudoi. Tudoi, you will join Opti team. Opti team is mainly related to optimizations. Actually, I could send you a link. Yeah, let me show you a link of teams structure. What was it? Team structure. RXP team structure. Yeah, this is the RXP team structure. So it will be good if I show you quickly the team structure. We have Alex, our client director. Alex is from FW. I guess you all know Rumen. Rumen is our CTO. Then we have program architects from Randstad, Eric and Robin. Both of them have a lot of experience, really good professionals. By the way, Robin used to work in a company called Bit Agency, and Bit Agency managed to deliver a system that's called Boo2. And actually, Boo2 is the platform that Randstad were using before coming to RXP, to the current platform. So Robin has already played the game to actually build a platform that's going to be used by a lot of countries and then deploy it. And both of them really like people who do their jobs with passion. And the good thing is that they're really good from technical point of view. So we have really good communications. Then we have solution architects team from our side. We have Engin. Engin is a really good, extremely technical person. He works with mostly with apply team. We have Jorge. Jorge is also architect. He works with explore and contemplate. And you know me, I work with everyone. So if there are issues, I'm there. We have apply teams. So apply teams is the team behind MyRandstad and the apply flow. So this is creation of account and application of jobs. The apply team members are these. And from 15th of August, Stoyan and Inyan will join apply team.
Yeah.
Then we have a platform team. Platform team is related to making sure the RXP Classic sites keep working. They make a lot of optimizations. Just to brag about, we managed to reduce the cost for hostings around 17,000, 18,000 per month. So this means that we are saving more than several €100,000 of Randstad due to our cost optimization tasks. Platform team, actually, I didn't tell you who is the Scrum Master, sorry. So Daniel Kirov, he is the Scrum Master of Apply, and Stefan Bijev, he is the technical lead of Apply. So guys, these two people are FW employees, and they will be working directly with you. We have the product manager, Wesley, and the product owner, Hester. Why do you have a product owner and product manager? In Randstad project, teams are working directly with the product owner, and the product owner is getting different epics by the product manager. The product manager might be joining different meetings like the sprint review meeting or retrospectives. But the main point is that in this case, Wesley gives guidelines where he wants the product to be. In this case, the product is MyRandstad app. And Hester is implementing this with the team. Wesley and Hester are Randstad employees. The rest are people from FW. Then we have the platform team. The platform team, the product owner is Ingrid. Again, really technical person. And we have the Scrum Master, Mariana, and the technical lead, Pavel. Again, Ingrid is from Randstad team. The rest are FW employees. So Pavel is, again, the main person who makes the deploys. Then we have the export team. The product manager is Marika. Again, similar to Wesley, she gives guidelines, and Ali will be replaced soon by Giacomo, gives and works with the team to implement them. So the Scrum Master of Export is Atanas. and technical lead is Ivailo. So Video, this is for you. These are the two main people in Export. And we do have some migration teams. Currently, still, as you could imagine, Randstad are extremely big client, and there are ongoing migrations to the RXP Classic. So I won't go into more details. The person that you need to know, however, is Jan de Oud. Jan is the overall product person for the RXP project. So actually, he manages all the product owners and helps them, and also manages people that work on the project. And this is from Randstad side. Then we have Opt team. Today, this is for you. Optimizations team backlog is actually making optimizations on the existing platform. This means, as you could imagine, we have extremely big Drupal instance. In that Drupal instance, there are a lot of stuff that could be optimized. Also, if there are some new features and or which is optimizing the business processes, goes to this team. Ingrid, again, is the product owner of this team because she's the person who owns platform, and now the person who makes sure that the platform works also makes sure that the optimization stuff is aligned.
Yeah.
In here, this needs to be updated, but the technical lead will be Evelyn Enchev, and the Scrum Master is Nikolai Nikolaev. Again, Ingrid is Randstad employee, the rest are FFW people. We have Contemplate team. Contemplate team is mainly working with CMS and mostly with branch locator and salary checker apps. So if you remember, branch locator was the one with the offices, and salary checker was one where you provide a different field of work, and you get all the salaries for that team. The product owner is Giacomo. Alexandra is the product manager. And in here, we have Ivan Goncharenko as technical lead and Alena as Scrum Master. And we have privacy and consent team. Privacy and consent team is a specific team mainly related to doing privacy and consent tasks. So what does it mean, a privacy and consent task? When you, for example, try to register, here you say, I accept terms and conditions and privacy notice. These are legal documents, and Randstad are also unifying them. So again, if I say, we have RXP Classic, the current running platform, and we have Talent Foundation. In Talent Foundation, Randstad decided that all the legal stuff will be unified across the globe. So all opcos will have legal documents, all opcos will allow the editor to manipulate these links, and also what's the entries in here. When you say I consent, this is sent to external service, etc. So all this legal stuff is handled by privacy and consent team. And why I told you this? Because just to have an overview how many teams we have up and running and where you will be working. So my purpose now is just go through the apps, so you could see the RXP Classic apps. Then we will go through the Talent Foundation apps because it will be beneficial for you. So going one step back, we have opened the BUX app MyRandstad. This is the RXP Classic app that's currently running. So people that are in optimization team will be working with this one. And it's also even people that will be in the apply team to know how this used to work. Because a lot of the stuff that we have between old and new is making sure that we are unifying the way stuff worked, and we are removing overrides. And by removing overrides, one of the most pain points that we used to have was when you go and open, let's say, anything, you see here we have 3 different ways to delete a user. That's not good. This should not be the case. It should be only one logic business side regarding deleting users. Or when you go to get user details, you see that we have how many? We have 6 different ways to get user details, which is, again, not good. So the difference between these and Talent Foundation is that in Talent Foundations, when you have some operations, it's only one file. And when you go to, for example, components in clients, let's open, probably with pages will be better, actually, because the pages are more different. So if I go to pages and say favorites pages, you see we have index and Syrian. So we have overrides again. Or if you go to login, that's not good. So you might think, okay, it's only login, but why in login we have how many? 6, 8, we have 9 different overrides for login. So we have 9 different overrides and 11 different countries with different logins. So that's one of the reasons of the Talent Foundation. Randstad realized that this is not good. It's not good if their own businesses have differences in even small things like how you log into the system. That's why they are working to unify it. One last bit that I need to tell you when it comes to MyRandstad is we have another MyRandstad, which is an older one. And this one is called Belgium MyRandstad. Why it's completely different by the rest? Because the whole way how this works is completely different. And you could imagine how and why we allowed that. Well, we didn't, but this is the business who is deciding. And you should know that in the Randstad world, they have smaller operational countries and bigger operational countries. And you could imagine that the bigger operational countries have more voice when it comes to new features. In this case, Belgium is one of the biggest operational countries that they have in the world. You see that they have several thousand jobs here, but it's not only this brand that's operating in Belgium. They have around 5,000 jobs here. Then they have another one. Let me switch to, was it Empoa? Let's see. Then they have around 1,000 jobs here. And then they have some other brands, again, related to Belgium. So another brand is called Randstad Young Talents. And for a country like Belgium, this is a lot of business. It's also in the center of Europe. You could see that they have around 80 offices in this brand. Then they have different offices for this brand. Then they have different offices for this brand. And Belgium is one of the influential opcos. And Belgium, as a mature influential opco, they created their own system. So actually, in Belgium, they have a completely different MyRandstad app, which is living under Bouygues BE app MyRandstad. This is using Next.js, but it's really using an older version of Next.js. Actually, we could check which version of Next.js it's using. Let's see, Next. It's using 9.4. And this app is specific because Belgium have another rule, which is we as RXP platform, we are not storing anything on our site. Nothing on DynamoDB, nothing on S3, like I showed you yesterday. So Belgium is something in between where Randstad want to be, where they are. But the tricky part with Belgium is that, again, this is mainly front-end app, but the services are built only by them. So Belgium, as big influential opco, had their own IT department that built a lot of services for us. And when I'm talking about influential opcos, I need to let you know about several others that when you are working on feature, you should be aware that these are the things that we should not break. For example, another extremely influential opco is Randstad France. You see they have 20,000 jobs on this brand, and they also have other brands like Expectra, which will have a lot of jobs again. So in here they have 5,000, and then they have even websites like Appel Medical, which is simply website related only for jobs in people who works in the nurse industry, so health industry. And you know that in here we have more than 7,000 jobs. In here we have 3,000. In here we have 20,000. So just for France up to now, guys, you see they have more than 30,000 active jobs. And these are not all the brands that France have. So that's why France is another influential opco. Also, they are really mature because they have their own IT department. And when the time comes to transfer them from RXP Classic to RXP Talent Foundation, it will be interesting. Another opco, which is extremely influential, and you should be aware of them, it's called Randstad USA. You see how many jobs they have. And Randstad USA are influential because first, they are one of the two opcos that they have and operate in United States. And this is one of the greatest markets. So one of the brands is Spherion, the other one is Randstad USA. Randstad USA are known for their own IT services as well. So this is another big opco that has some specifics. So Todo, this is mainly for you when it comes to optimization. And it's good for you to know in terms of export that they have specifics. And also Inyan and Stian, this is good for you to know from MyRandstad perspective that, for example, that this is completely different MyRandstad that has login with Facebook and Google and the rest doesn't have it. It's because they were influential. Another opco, that's a big one, extremely big player, it's Italy. You see, they have 12,000 jobs. In Italy, it's mainly some specifics when it comes from SEO point of view. And another big player in the Randstad world is Canada. In Canada, you might find only 5,000 jobs, but actually they have a lot of integrations behind the scenes. They have a lot of different services that are pushing applications. If you go to the APAC world, Australia are a big player because they have, again, their own ATS systems. And I think I covered most of the big players in Europe. We went to Australia, we went to Americas, and it's just to show you that there are a lot of websites that might have and will have different influence when it comes to decision making. For us as professionals, this is good because we are actually solving problems that Randstad didn't manage to solve for years. We are actually unifying their business and getting to know their business. And don't worry about the specifics. You won't be able to remember all the specifics. That's why we are here to help you and support you in this journey. So about the legacy backend Belgium MyRandstad, this Belgium MyRandstad actually operates in 3 different countries. How you could find out which countries are running in this repository? The easiest way for you guys is to open GitLab CI. In GitLab CI, you could see which builds we have. And in GitLab CI, you check here the repository. So you see we push changes to Belgium, we push changes to Young Talents, and also we push changes to TT's Tempo team. So this very app is actually running in Randstad Belgium. It's running in Tempo team Belgium, and it's also the same that works in Randstad Young Talents Belgium. So actually 3 websites are using the same code base for this app. That's the easiest way how you could check which countries are running. Also, how you could check in which region are these countries. Well, I'm sure that you all know how to read GitLab CIs, but I will go through it really quickly. So we have build phase, and in this build phase, we say that this stage is built, and we say to which branches this works. So this is dev, test, PPR, prod, actually all of the branches. We have tags, so the runner will take them. And also we are saying where we push the changes. So in here, we see EU West 1, which is R1 region. And this is obvious and normal because Belgium are in Europe. If I open the same file, for example, in Buex app MyRandstad, let's open it quickly, go to GitLab CI. And in the GitLab CI, again, you see we have non-production builds, and then we have production builds about different countries. So you see all of them. Why this is split? Because if you check the non-production build, we have dev, test, and PPR environment. Also, if you check something like when this happens, you see that we have when only on the production builds. And the production builds have when, which is manual. So this means that dev, test, and PPR are deployed automatically when something is merged into those branches, but production is deployed manually. And that's expected because these are production environments. We don't want someone deploy something to production by mistake. And how do you find out which opcos run in which region? Well, all DTA environments, dev test acceptance or dev test PPR in our case, operate in EU West region. That's why you see here only one region. And you see a lot of opcos that are running this MyRandstad application. It's just a script that goes for each of the websites and just pushes the changes to the repository. When this is pushed to the repository, then the pipeline starts, the pipeline that I showed you yesterday. For the production ones, you could see that, for example, we have now different regions. Let's see. We have Australia built in Southeast 2 region. We have Brasilia built in US East 1. We have Canada built in Canada region, etc. So only the production instances are in different regions. And in this file, it's the easiest for you to find out where a current opco is deployed on production. Why it will be beneficial for you to know that? Well, if you are in a situation that currently you have a task that you need to integrate with a new API, it's a good idea always to consider where this API is hosted and how fast this API will be if you access it from a different region. So that's why it might be working really good and great from Europe or Asia in your case, but it might be extremely slow when you try to access this from any of the Americas. So this is how you could easily check where a certain app is deployed. And by the way, this is valid for Jobs app as well. So if you open Jobs app, like here, and go to GitLab CI, GitLab CI. In the GitLab CI, you will see that we have similar context. So we have a lot of opcos again. And also in here, we have one that's slightly different. It's called RXP. RXP is the use case for Talent Foundation. So this is the showcase opco. That's why it's called RXP. And again, for the rest, you see we have production builds. And if you check any of the production builds, let's check Brasilia, it's in a certain region. You could easily assume that if you open any of the apps and see that, for example, Brasilia for one of the apps is in US East, I could assure you that the rest of the apps are in the same region as well. And from Amazon point of view, how you could switch regions, just to be sure that I have shown this to you. If I am on the home page, you see here I'm in Ireland. If I click here, these are the regions. So if I go back and see, okay, we have Brasilia, and this is in US East 1. How many instances I have in US East 1? I have 5 matches, you see. So if I continue checking, I have Chile, I have Mexico, and which one? And I have Sweden in this case. So if I go and search for US East 1, this is North Virginia as a region. And if I go to ECS, and if I search, click on the ECS, then I will see Fargate. If I open the Fargate, in here, I have all the production instances for this US East. And we said that we were interested in Brasilia. So I add dash, BR as code, and BR. And I see all the apps deployed for Brazil. This is how it works. Okay. So going one step back, we know now how to check apps. We know how to see in which regions these are deployed. Really fast, another point is what happens with pipelines. So if I go to dev, you see here that Rossi merged something 1 day ago, and the pipeline is in green. You could click on it and see what happens. Actually, what happens is we have non-production build in China. Why do we have a non-production in China? The reason that we have a difference for China is that China is running a completely separate account. But this is due to legal restrictions in China region. So that's why Amazon operates in different regions in there. But if you open the build, you could see the actual execution. And you could see what happened, how it fetched the latest changes and just pushed them to code commit. So this is what this pipeline is doing. If the pipeline is not green, then we have issues and we need to resolve them. And while I am on the pipelines, I would like just to make a small note about the platform where the Drupal lives. And I'll go to dev environment just to see. And on dev environment, if I open the pipelines, again, we have CMS test and CMS non-production build. If I click on CMS test, we have code sniffers that are running, and that's extremely important. So before you commit anything, we have pre-commit hooks that are being added, and we make sure that the code is following the standards that we set. So I would strongly recommend not to commit anything with no verify, because if the build breaks or it doesn't work, then this will be pointed here in alarms, and we will know who broke it and why. And then on non-production build, what it is doing is just pushing again the files to code commit. For the Talent Foundation apps, we have similar stuff. So again, we have some tests that are running, and then pushing the code. Okay, so let's see, do I have the MyRandstad application cloned? I search for MyRandstad, my-Randstad, okay. I search for my-Randstad. USIO, and it's, yeah, I'm searching without saying that I'm searching. Okay, so I have two apps, but I will open the MyRandstad one in Vuex and RXP Classic, and then I will open it in the WebStorm. So I'm searching for Vuex MyRandstad, this one. I'll check on which branch I am, git status, I'm on dev. I'll just pull the latest changes. Again, git pull origin dev. You see that someone is working on CH. CH, by the way, as an opco, it's Randstad Switzerland. And Randstad Switzerland are known for the many languages that they have available. And also, they are the first opco about the specific multilingual that Randstad have. So what does it mean by specific multilingual? This is mainly for you for export, but it's good for Tudor as well to know. In this case, the multilingual is built in a way that you see the different languages mixed. And for countries which are multilingual, Randstad state that this is okay. You see, I'm currently checking the data on French, but this is still in German. If I click on Italian, some of the stuff is translated, but the rest is not. And if I go to English again, so this is what the client wanted. Keep what you see as source and try to translate mainly the taxonomies, the attributes, but the rest should be kept as it is. And this is a strong requirement by them. I'm telling this because it's different probably than the rest of the multilingual stuff that you have seen. Also, another thing that they requested on purpose is if you open, let's say, Switzerland on the map, because I don't know many cities, to be honest, and let's search for Zurich. You see how Zurich is okay, but if you search for a city that might have a different name in different languages, so we have Bern and these two, it will work again. This is also a requirement by them. Because if you are a person who speaks several languages, for you, it's not an issue to search in different languages. In the knowledge transfer sessions folder, there is a topic on multilingual. It's good for you to check it just to see that Randstad have a specific idea about multilingual. Okay, so back to the MyRandstad application. I have managed to pull latest changes from dev. And then I will open the code. When I open the code, I will close everything and just guide you through the code. In here, we have a similar stuff like we had in Jobs app. So we have source folder, and we have clients and server. So everything that's front end, it's in client. This includes components and pages. everything that you see on the backend is in here with routes and services. How do I debug this? Well, again, open Randstad UK for a preference, close the rest. We don't need it. We need this one. We don't need this one. Go to here, click on login, and in the network tab, if you choose to see only XHR requests, and when you try to, let's say, login, I see the attempts to login, and this won't work in our case. And why it won't work? Because it's trying to, what happened? Let's see. So if I type an email, type some kind of password, accept the CAPTCHA, and submit, this is what happened. It made a call to API MyRandstad login with the language. In the request, it actually sent my email, my password, and available data that we have, and the response was incorrect. So this app, again, has API. So if we open Randstad UK and say API MyRandstad, /user, if you're logged in, you'll get information about the user here. Because again, it's a React application that uses API level. So if I log in, let's see whether I will remember my account. Was it like this? Let's see. Remember me login? Yes, I'm logged in. Now I'm in my dashboard. If I search only for this type of requests and click through the websites, you see that it makes requests through, again, API MyRandstad, and we have user data. So if I refresh this user endpoint, now you see everything that's important for my user object. You know my specialism, whether I'm subscribed, some information about my CV. You have an endpoint where you could, which you could actually hit and get my CV, and it will return you the CV file. This is required because it's good for you to know that it makes your life easier when you need to debug something. Instead of just waiting for the data to be seen, you could use the browser. And this is under routes here. So we have the backend part and we have the front-end part. When it comes to translations, in every app we have internationalization folder. In that internationalization folder, we have the information that's required for it, like key value about the translations. And we have configs, again, in the config file. If there are any overrides there in those files, so if there are overrides about callbacks, about components, they are here. The forms are defined in files. What does it mean the forms are defined in files? Well, if we compare MyRandstad and Jobs app, the Jobs app doesn't have that many forms. So those forms are inside the components and the pages. But in here, it needs to be more flexible. So it's like defining a name of the field, how it exists, what's the title, what kind of component to use, etc. And then the logic is getting this information and rendering the form. I'll just go into details for one of them to explain to you how you could debug it and have an idea. So if I open, in this case, I'm in configuration, so I need to go to client pages and let's say login, and let's use the default login. You don't see UK in here, so this means that UK uses the default one. This is an easy way for you to find out. Another way is just to go through the overrides, but if you don't see the opco code in here, it doesn't have an override. So on the login page, what I see is we have some specifics, we have some use effects. I'm not interested about them. You see the login call, and then we go to the markup that's returned. And in this markup, we have we need to have a form here. So we are using a form component. We say the name, who handles change, what is the state, and who handles submit. And how it works, if you open this form, it's actually extending form. Based on the form, it will load the login form from here. So there should be a login. Is this UK actually? Yeah, it is UK. And if I start just register, contact, job industry, work, location, contact preferences, user names, user resume, I should be able to see all the stuff related to this forms config. And I see all the fields that I need in there. And let me open another one just for the sake of the test. This one is empty. Let's see the core one. Default ones. Okay, this is empty still. So forms config JSON. This was read by which thing? Forms config JSON. This is read by, yeah, it's in the README file as well. So where it is? I don't see it. So forms are rendered via special hook based on the schemas configured in here or in the OPCO specific configuration folder. So source config forms config JSON, source config forms config JSON. Here it is, the login form. So we have login, register, reset password, right to be forgotten, and the rest. And if you need any adjustments, you make them in the file for the OPCO, or if it's a global stuff, you made it in this file. And now if you check the login form, why would have different login form? I didn't thought about this because it's only email and the password in this case and the checkbox. So you see we have input field in the email, we have password field in the password, we have checkbox, we have a captcha, and we have a button, and then text with a link. And these are all components that will be available for you. So this is how it's rendered. So if I go one step back, this is why it's rendering the form here. And then we have handle change. And if I check handle change, actually handle submit is the better one because in handle change we don't do a lot. In handle submit, what we do is prevent default, get the data that we have. You might wonder why we are getting the favorite jobs, because if you have added any favorite jobs when you are not logged in, we need to transfer them when you are logged in. That's why we get them. And then we pass the data to the endpoint, to the login endpoint, by passing the form data. If there are any errors, we need to reset the captcha and continue. This is how basically you could debug a certain form. So in the README file, if you check it, again, you need to run yarn install and opco label and yarn build. So I'm here, opco label, let's start UK. So I'm saying opco label UK, yarn dev. What will happen is, if there are any issues, I will see them in here, and the app won't start for me. And actually, I get an error about simple email service, which is interesting. And although the app started, so it's in this URL, localhost 8070. If I open the browser and say, hey, show me MyRandstad app, it should render for me. And it's good that now we have errors. I'll debug this with you. So you see, I started accessing this and I have an error. It says that no such file or directory. So it says source assets CSS orbit Randstad CSS. If you remember, orbit was the place where this stuff lives. So the design library that we use. And in order for me to have this file, source assets CSS orbit Randstad CSS file, I will run yarn build orbit. So this will try to build orbit, and we have an error. Good. Task never defined. So this means that in assets and in the scope file, someone make any changes, and this is not defined. So how could I fix it? Let's start one by one. One of the way is first remove not modules. Once I remove the not modules, I will install them again, because sometimes when there are orbit updates, people are making updates to the way how this is built. So, and we are on dev branch, so it's expected to have such changes, and it's normal sometimes to have to debug it. Then I have this, and I need to check, do I have yarn walk? Yes, I have it. So I run yarn install again. And I'm installing all the packages. So let's wait for the packages to be installed. I will follow the readme here. So yarn install, yarn build orbit, and I guess we'll have issues with yarn build orbit. So it will be better to start reading what it runs. So it runs not modules, bin scope, OpenSSL, build, source assets. So it will be reading this one, not modules, bin scope. And this scope part of the stuff. Let's see, scope. We have it here, and we don't have it anywhere else. So waiting for it. One of the other reasons might be if someone is making a big change in local orbit. How you could find out whether they are making any changes? Well, if you search for orbit in here, we should have access to this one. And if I search for local orbit, it's prod bx local orbit. So if I search for this is not us, so I search for local orbit core should be this one. It's Nikolai Marinov making changes in this one. Package JSON, point south, okay. You see orbit updates is still in place, and if I check the GitHub CI, yes, this is the repository that it's downloading. How I found it? It's git bx prd bx local orbit. So you see, this is where it pushes, and they made some adjustments on the dev branch, and actually someone made changes on the dev branch here, like z-index and other stuff. So let's see, this finished. So I will try to yarn build orbit again. And we have issues. Let's see, do we have any tasks? No GOP file found. Okay. GOP file is missing in this case. And this is in source assets GOP file. Let's see. Source assets GOP file JS. And what does it do? It just builds it. So this should be working. What's the problem? Task never defined. GOP task. Who is making any changes and when they made the changes? If I check it, it show history. Actually, no changes for 2 years. This is good. Then task never define default. It's OpenSSL legacy. So when I try to run not modules, then bin, then gulp, no gulp file found. But then if I say current working directory is this one, source assets, it should find it, but it's not finding it. So I need to see gulp docs and just see how to pass the correct file. Then task file. It seems that it's not finding the correct file. That's the reason. So task now found. Okay, export the default gulp file. That might be some updates. So let's see. Gulp docs, gulp. It's searching for gulp file. In our case, the file is like this. You see, with general G. So I'll just test this, and if this works, then I need to check out are there any changes in the library. No, still not finding it. So it says using gulp file and task never defined default. Why is this? Task never defined default. Let's see. That's strange. Okay, let's just try it, and then I will notify the rest of the team because there might have been some updates. So we have default task, CB, and CB is what in this case? So I get this, add it in here, I call it, and then I run this one. And I run again build orbit. Oh, nice. Okay. Let's try again to run the app. I will make sure to ask the front-end guys whether they have seen such issue before. So now we are waiting for the app to start and see do we have other issues. And from when is this update? This is not normal to have it. Okay. And now we have only one error about simple email service and request, but source assets CSS orbit Randstad CSS is missing again. So why it's missing? It built CSS and it should build style, but it didn't build them. And when I said go build, what happened was what? Using this go file, default, and finished. But I don't see it running actually with these two. It didn't build the style and didn't build anything. So actually gulp didn't finish with these two. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Randstad local orbit. So if I open not modules, then go to, it will be easier here. So not modules, then I'm searching for Randstad local orbit. Don't worry guys, this is not common to happen. So that's why we need to find it and run it. Randstad local orbit, it should be with actually in under FFW space, so it should be from the beginning here. Okay, then we have Randstad local orbit, then we should have gulp utils. We need to have build script. It's just the simple build script, and then we have the simple build.js, and it doesn't work. I guess it's about not waiting about them to finish. But if it starts waiting for them, it should be different case. No, it's not waiting for them, obviously. It executes it and doesn't do anything because it should be building the assets, and it's not building the assets because when you try to run the app, it says that it's missing the files in source assets CSS orbit, source assets CSS orbit, and we don't have it. So like build CSS and build JavaScript is not running. Okay, we could try something else. So if I open Node modules, go to FDAO folder, then I go to Randstad Local Orbit. In here, I have a README. Let's open the README file in there. Randstad Local Orbit. And I could run yarn install, which will install the dependency inside the local orbit. And then my idea is to run yarn build, which should be actually running what they have defined here, which is yarn build, which runs go build, and which should build the CSS and the JavaScript. Let's see. Okay, and then yarn build. npm command not found. So I don't have npm. Okay, I need to install it. Okay, it should be straightforward, but I don't have it. That's interesting. I have the node, but I don't have the npm. Why? And if I say which node I'm using, it's in user local opt node 19 bin. And what else do I have in here? I don't see the npm file. Let's go in the bin folder just to see. Actually, open a new window. Which node? Not modules. Then go to user local opt node clone bin. And here I have only the node. Why I have only the node? Let's say for others. Opt, and then I should have node like, let's see, 14. Node 14, and if I go to bin, and in bin folder, I have npm. But I don't have npm in node folder 19. That's good. Okay, so do we have any other version? No. Why I am missing npm in node folder 19? Node 19 missing npm. Okay. Were there any big changes and they removed it? To be honest, I'm not aware, so it might be the case. Okay, major changes. Did they remove npm? Shouldn't. Okay. It says that there is a compatible, but why? Okay. Brew change Node.js version. Let's switch the Node.js version, and it should be like this one. So I go here, Node version, it's 19. Then if I search for it, it should give me options. Why it's now? It's fine. It says that it's Node and Node 14. So if I say brew unlink Node, it should remove the symlinks. And now when I try to run Node version, which Node, it's still running. So this means that someone is I should be able to load this. Let's see the bash profile. Is it here? No, this is the init bash, and that's it. And what else do I have? I have is this HRC? No. Oh, actually, here it is. Nice. Okay. Here. And we said we are going to use Node 14, not Node 19. Now it should start working because it needs to load the new profile. And it loaded the new profile. So why I had to drop it, I guess you know, but it was loading the old file, so I had to change it. So now if I go to MyRandstad GitLab, go to WhatsApp, MyRandstad, again, remove Node modules because I installed them with the wrong version. And I have an idea that it might be related to the Node.js version as well. So just reset the files and make sure that we are back to the original place. And this is still removing Node modules. Come on. Okay, done. And now we could run yarn install. And see what will happen. So life of a programmer, you know, it's open source, it should work. Luckily, we are the ones that face this, not the servers. So how I could check whether this will be an issue soon? If I go to Amazon, it might be a good idea to check which Node.js version are we currently using in our instances. In order for me to do that, I could go to Ireland. I'm checking this. Oh, it happened. Yarn build orbit. Will you work? No, it won't work again. Okay, so I go to Node modules. Actually, I will try something else first. In the package.json, there was a command that said update orbit. So I say yarn update orbit. Please update orbit. And then I will go to clusters, open the dev Fargate, search for jobs, open any of the jobs, doesn't matter which one. Then go to configuration, or it's easier even in the code actually. I search for jobs. For each of the apps, we have infrastructure containers, and then we have a Docker file. In the Docker file, we say which Node.js version we are using. This is how you could check. So it's 18.16. So in this case, I know that this should be actually deprecated and now dead. Yeah, it is. So I need to switch to Node.js 18, but I don't have it now. So let's just see whether it will be built. If not, I need to install Node.js 18 and switch to it. Okay, it's not. Okay, so brew search node. We have node 18. So brew and link node. And then we need to go again to this profile file, which was in here. Open this. Oh, sorry. Open this. Switch to 18. Then I should have run just build, but okay. Now it should be node 18. Why? Couldn't find it. That shouldn't be the case. So RC, no. Oh, sorry. SSH RC. It says not 18, but it's not finding that. Let's see. Local opt not 18. It doesn't have node 18. I'm in opt folder and I'm searching. Yeah, I don't have node 18. Okay, so install node with brew. So I will need to say brew installed node 18. It should be brew installed node 18. It's not brew, but it's just brew. Okay. Let's see. This should install it for us. Yeah, I should be able to do that. We have 10 more minutes, but let's see whether we will be able to run it. If no, tomorrow we will continue. It's good that it's happening now because we could see different steps how to debug it. So it's currently trying to install it. Let's see. If I go to user opt, no, where did it install it? It was in user local opt. Okay, user local opt. And then if I search for node, it starts to exist. So now we have node 18 as a folder. And in there, do we have a bin? We have. And do we have npm? We have. Okay. So still waiting for build to finish. Once it's finished, we go again, remove node modules, run yarn install, make sure that we use node 18. And if it doesn't work, then we go to the library which is local orbit, run yarn install in there, run yarn build orbit, and find out why the gulp file is not being found, and it says that no tasks found. I'm almost sure that it would be due to versions of Node.js and versions of packages. But we need to wait for it to finish. Actually, do I need to wait for it? It's fetching dependencies. Now it's installing this one, and then fetch the dependency for this one. It installed Node 18. So we have this. This is what we need. It said run this, and then it continue with some other dependencies, which in this case I see it's PHP. So we don't need it. I could not wait. I could do it without waiting. It seems that it will work. Let's see. MyRandstad GitLab, then Boex app, MyRandstad, then remove, not modules. Then see, do we have another version? Yes, we have version 18. So removing this, Brew is installing, but it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, this is removed. Quick check, yes. 1817 in the infrastructure, it's 1816, but it should be sufficient. There shouldn't be major changes in there. Okay, installing. And by the way, how you could find out what's happening? Well, while we are waiting, if you open the code pipelines here and close everything that I was searching just to make sure it's the correct stuff, if you search for, let's say, MyRandstad and UK, let's search for UK. In here, in pipelines, you could see the different pipelines. And now I open dev pipeline for the app, and then I go to the build phase. And if I open the build phase, I could see the entire walk. And what you could see, this is a dump from the Docker, but then I should see stuff like yarn install, yarn upgrade, these two, and then there should be yarn build orbit. And this is wine 936. Yarn install was wine 488. And if you open yarn build orbit, this is the normal stuff that you see. There are some warnings, but it's actually building orbit. So this is what's running. How do I know that this is what's running? Well, if you search in here, this is inside infrastructure containers app Docker file. This is what's happening. It's running yarn install and then yarn upgrade orbit. And after that, yarn build orbit and yarn build. So this is what the pipeline is performing. So let's see. Yarn install, we run that. Then yarn, not yarn, only once. We update the local orbit stuff. It's downloading versions. If I compare the running size in yarn build orbit and yarn actually upgrade orbit, it's updated these and then query strings, some other stuff. So similar stuff at our side. Yes, so yarn build orbit. It's alive. Okay. And now it's building, which is good. That's a really good lesson. First, check the Node.js versions before building anything. Why I had different Node.js version, guys? Well, you see that this is RXP Classic, and it's running with Node.js 18. But if you open the Talent Foundation apps and go to infrastructure, containers, Docker, it's even lower version. Okay, one of the apps was using version 19. I need to check which one. So as a recommendation, you could go with the LTS version of Node.js, and it will work for RXP Classic and RXP Talent Foundation in this case for you. Okay, we run yarn local orbit, so we say opco label UK and say yarn dev. And if the demo gods are with us, we should start getting running up. And we have Splunk error, which is not an issue in this case. And this is good. This is good. It's asking for basic out, and we have the up and running. And we managed to do it in time. So, any questions?
I say it's good that it happened on the video, so we have a clear idea how to do it on our own data.
Yeah, it's good that it didn't work at the first time, so you saw it. Okay, well, then in this case, it will be for today, guys, and tomorrow we'll continue with another app. I'll show you how to start the branch locator app. Please continue watching the knowledge transfer sessions, and please prepare any questions that you might have for me. Thank you again for joining.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.